Okay. So today I'm going to start array. So what is array? First need to understand why we need array. So suppose we have teaching in a class, right? And there is a student class. So if we have 10 students in a class and we have roll number of 10 students, for example, suppose we have roll number of first student, so int roll number 1 is equal to something like 11. Roll number for second student is roll number 2 is equal to 12. Just like if we have 100 students in class, so we have to declare 100 times this variable, right? So that we can store 100 students roll number. But is this way is correct to do? No. So that's why we have a concept like array. So array is a collection of similar kind of elements. Like if we have integer, so array will be a integer type, right? So we cannot have multiple type of variables in an array, right? Suppose if we are making integer array, then we can only store integer value. If we are going to make string array, then we can only store string values, right? So in that case, array comes in picture when we have a similar kind of data to be stored, right? So how to declare array? Just watch. First I will be talking about integer array, right? So we have declare like this. Syntax is int array name new int, and here we have to pass the size, right? So here we will pass the size, and this is size of 5 array, right? So we can do in this way also. But this should be preferred, right? So normally we use like this. So this is also correct, this is also not any syntactical error, this is also correct. So we are going to take an example for this. So int like this array I have declared, right? So suppose I am declaring a array for students roll number. We can give it roll is equal to new int, and we have to give size over here, right? So suppose I have given 5. Now how to store elements inside this array? First index will be always starting for an array from 0, right? This way. So this way we have stored values inside an array. So till here anybody have any problem why we use array and what is the syntax for it and how to store data inside an array? Okay, so this means this way we stores element inside an array. Now how can we print this? Just go sysout system.out.println and array name is roll and give the index. So what this will print? This will print this first one, right? Suppose I give a print for roll 3. So what it will print? It will print this fourth index, right? 0 1 2 3. Please mute.
I think
Yeah, you can say, but please make sure there should not be a background noise. Yeah, you can ask your question. I'll be coming to that for loop. Don't worry about this.
I was thinking like it should print roll 2.
This roll 2. If I'll pass 3, then this will print roll 2. Are you saying this?
Yeah,
No, no, no,
let
no,
me,
no, no,
yeah,
no.
is that correct? No.
No, no, no. We are hard codely passing, right? It is not like that I is less than length, so it will be 1 minus. This is the index value, right? So don't worry. Just I will be coming to that Eclipse idea. I'll be showing you, right? Okay. So until here, if anybody has any issue, okay,
No, we are good.
okay, okay. So I'll be moving to. So here first I'll make a project. And I'll finish this. Now I'll make a package inside it and name this array, right? So it will be clear what concept covered inside this package. Class single D array, right? Here I'll be clicking on main method and main method will be created automatically. Okay, so first I will define int roll, right? And here I have to give array b. This whenever you see like this means you are seeing a array kind of thing. New int, suppose I give size 3. So what will the indexes? 0 1 and 2. 0 from starting is 0, that's why the indexes are total 0 1 2 till 2. And now I will be giving int, sorry, I will be giving the values to this array. So how to give it? Roll 0 is equal to 10, roll 1 is equal to 11, roll 2 is equal to 12. Now I will print anyone. Suppose I print roll 2. So what it should print? It should print 12, right? Not 11, right? So this way it printed 12. So I hope your doubt is clear now. So now one thing more, this is the hard coded value that I am assigning to this array, right? But we have not gone through with scanner classes or buffer reader class, so that's why till then we have to do hard code. Otherwise there is a method math.random. So there is a class math class and there is a method for it. Then we can assign value by them also, but that will be because we are in beginning phase, so just avoid those things. First learn the concepts and then we'll be moving to those part like scanner class, buffer reader class. So we'll be assigning values from the those input from the user, right? So this way we have printed this. Now suppose what if I want to know the size of this array? So there is a method Please listen carefully.
One last sorry for them.
Yeah.
Actually, I have a small doubt. What
Okay.
is difference between int roll of 3 in this system, int roll of 3, suppose.
I didn't get your question actually.
Actually, is int, suppose roll of 3 in this same.
If I pass roll of 3 here,
No.
yeah,
Whatever int of roll, new int of 3 you mentioned,
yeah.
it's same like just you can type int roll of
Now
3.
tell me, I will type. Let me type. Let's say I will type that. Or you can type on your chat box as well so that I can understand what you are trying to say.
Okay. Is it valid or?
This integer is a wrapper class. You, if you are saying that this one is a wrapper class, so we have not gone through with that. Okay, sorry, but you have not typed the full integer class, right? Int only. So you are saying that I have to type like this, right?
Yes, sir.
So this will be an error because this, there is no such primitive type available over here, right? In Java we have to follow only the instruction that is given. So if you want to going to declare any integer variable, you cannot type like this, int a is equal to 10.
No, you can give small thing.
So I have given this one only, right? Now
No.
here
If you give int space
roll
roll of 3.
here.
Okay, I think he is asking, can we declare a array like how we are declaring the individual variables,
No.
right?
There
Like
is
if roll of 3,
no.
that way.
We have the syntaxes right that. That's why I have changed the variable name over here to show you. Suppose roles. So we have to follow the syntaxes that instructed by the Java developers, right? We cannot do anything by your own, right? Uh, so whatever the syntaxes are there, we have to follow. I have also learned those syntaxes. So we cannot do anything by just assuming, right? So we have to follow all the syntaxes, right? So differences will be there when the syntaxes will be correct, right? So there is nothing difference just because that is not a part of that our Java concept, right? So this way we can access the values. So now I was trying to say how to uh, get the length of the array, right? So there is a keyword. Some people confuse that that is a method, but length is not a method in Java. When method will be like that, when you will see parenthesis after that, right? Just like this main method has open and close parenthesis. So if I want to get the length of this array, so how I can get it? Roll dot array name dot len, and this will automatically suggesting you to get that method. And what it will return? It will return 3 because array size is 3. Okay, so these are small things, but we will need them every time when we are working with the array or the list, right? So collection, whatever. So the first, it printed the size of the array. Roll dot length size of array was 3, so it printed 3. And second time I wanted to access the index value of that particular second index of this array, so it has printed 12, that was 12, right? So now one more thing, that how I can iterate through loop, right? Just if I want to print all of this array, suppose I have 100 of indexes, right? So do I going to write 100 system dot out dot println? No, That's why we have last week we have covered the for loop, while and do while loop. Now we can do it right easily. So I will comment this line because we don't need this over here, right? Now I will print using for loop. So for, we have to if you guys have practiced, you must know on it index. You can give I as well, don't be confused, this is just variable name index, and from where it should start from 0 only, because array index only always starts from 0, right? I is less than length. What length? Array roll dot length. Why it's less than? I will tell you. Index, sorry, I have declared there I will make that correct first. Let me make it correct. Index, right? Now I'll open close. So why this is less than, right? Suppose we have declared an array, so array index will be 0, 1 and 2, right? So if I will make it I is less than equal to roll number roll dot length, so there will be returning 3. So it will run roll 0, roll 1, roll 2 and roll 3. So that will be incorrect because there is no such roll 3 present, right? I hope you can understand. Let me clear it by using this pictorial diagram. Suppose I have declared this one, right? So this will create a array like this. So 5 indexes will be there, just because array size is 5, 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So total are 5 indexes starting from 0. So if I will run this loop from 0 to 5, so this will run 6 times, right? And it will be bound, it will cross the boundary, right? Because it will be going to search index 5, right? But there is no such index 5 available. That's why it will be going from out of the boundary from this array, right? So it will be giving a error, array index of out of bound exception, right? So but exception handling we have not covered, but we should understand how to how things happens in Java, right? So this way you can make them yourself ready for those points, right? So I will be running this loop from less than. I hope you guys understand. Now one by one I will be printing that array, right? So index, roll, and here I will pass index of that. So first time what will happen? First time it will coming to index 0, right? So it will be printing roll index 0, right? Roll index 0, it first time it will print 10. Second time index will be plus plus, so value of index will be 1, right? So it will print roll 1. Third time value of index will be 2, right? So it will print roll 2. Fourth time value of index is 3, but it will match that index is less than 3, right? Because what it return 3, so it index is less than 3, so it will come out of the loop, right? So this way it will print all the values for it. But we should know what actually this roll dot length will return, right? Suppose I make it equals to, so first it will print all the values, then it will throw array index out of bound, right? So what it went out of boundary of that described index is described of 3 values only, 3 indexes are described. So array size is 3 and it is running 4 times. That's why first it printed, and when it came out of that bound, so it printed array index out of bound. Why I am showing this? Just because we normally face this problem and we stuck while we go for fixing these issues. That's why we should know how the things happens, right? So this was the one dimension array, right? So now I'll be coming up to the 2D array. what is 2D array. Until here, if anybody has any doubt, so let me know. Okay, so now I'll be moving to for 2D array. What are 2D array? It simply means array inside an array. Suppose I declare int and 2D, so that's why there will be two type brackets, and roll, whatever you want to do, just array, right? So because we have not any this time any thing with 2-dimension roll number, there is no such present, that's why. So here we will giving new int. So this way we can declare 2-dimension array, right? But here we have to mention the size. Suppose here I give 2 and here I give 3, right? So what it means? It means there is a array of size 2 in which there is one another array of inside this array, right? How this? Let me show you. This will make like it. There will be array just because of size 2 indexation will be 0 and 1, right? Inside this array there will be another array of size 3. So if size is 3, so indexes will be 0, 1 and 2, and for this 0, 1 and 2, right? So suppose indexes are 2 and 3, so this means there is a array of size 2. Inside that array there is a size 3 array also present, right? For every index this will happen. So how we can assign values? So suppose we assign value array 0, right? First for this 0 and this 0 index, suppose I assign value 1, array 0, and this index 1, suppose assign 2, array 0, and this index 2. Now this one is completed, this is completed, right? Now this time I will print this array will be accessed. First it will be accessed fully, then I can access this 1, because this time index is 1 and value is 0, right? 1 and index 0, this will be accessed. Suppose 4, this time array 1 and 1, this 1 and 1. Suppose 5, and this time array 1, 2, suppose value 6. So we can access this, right? So this way we can do it. Like now I'll be first checking up with you guys. Suppose I have an array, no, suppose I have 10, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18. Suppose I want to access this 17. So how can I access? If anybody want to tell me, so how can I access these values? I want to access this 17. What should I write under system.out.println?
Array 1 of 1.
Array 1 of 1.
And 1.
Yeah. Okay, suppose now this time I want to get the length of this array. So how can I get this length of this array? I want to get the length of this array. Suppose I print array dot length. So what it will give me? Either it will return 3 or return 2. It will return 2. How can I get this the length of this second array inside array? Okay, I'll be telling you. First let me check with 2D array. First I will be declaring array of 2-dimension array. Two and 3. Now I'll be declaring some values for it. Zero zero is equal to 1. I will copy this. 1 is equal to 2, 0 2 is equal to 3. Now 1 0 1 1 is equal to 5. 1 2 is equal to 6. Right, until here. If anybody have any problem, then please tell me, otherwise I will be moving forward. Okay, so now what I will do, I will first check that whether my output is correct with normal. I want to access index 1 or 2. What should be the output? 1 or 2. 6, right? So output is correct. So that's why we have done everything in a correct way. Now I want to access the length, right? So how can I get the length of the outer array, right, which have array inside it, right? So how can I get? Just print sysout array dot length. What it should return? It should return as per the outer array index is defined, right? Now how can I get the index of the inner array? Just make 0 here, right? So what it should return? Now this time it should return 3. Why? Just because, let me show. When I have defined index like this, what happened? When I have defined index like this, right? So when I have printed sysout array 0 dot length, so it understand that I want to check the array. It come inside and it was checking this length for this array, right? If I was directly printing, then it was printing the outside array length, right? So if I print 1 over here, this will come here and it will check the size of this, right? So this way it understands, just it's logical thing to understand, and the inside it will check the length for array which is inside the first array index, right? So but don't think that there is a array inside an array. There are internally something else happens, we are understanding it externally, right? So but memory doesn't know there are memory have only locations, right? We just make them understand like we want to understand, but memory locations are different. There is inside memory getting created, so there is a particular block is created, right? Particular block is created and that block has assigned with indexes, but there is no such brackets available, there is no such colons available like I am trying to make you understand, right? So just understand there is a block, and inside we just define a block only, and inside that block there are indexes available, addresses available, this, right? Addresses from indexes starts from 0. So now if I want to print 1, so what it should return, it should again return 3, right? Okay, so now I want to print it by using for loop, right? So how many for loops will be used in it? Just because our array inside an array, so how I can print it? Just use 2 for loops for it. First we'll run from I is equal to 0 array dot length I plus plus. Why here I have not mentioned array 0 dot length? Just because if I will mention 0 dot length, so this loop will run 3 times, right? But we have only 2 indexes in outer array, so outer array index should be defined only 2. It should run only for array index 0 and 1 like this. It should run only for array index 0 and 1, 0 and 1. So outer loop will run only for this 0 and this 1, right? So that's why I have outerly defined the array index 0 and 1. It should run only 2 times for 0 and 1, right? Because of less than. Inner loop, how much time inner loop should run? So how can I just make it length over here, right? So I hope you guys get an idea how to do it, right? So this will run 3 times. Why? Because here I have passed 0, so it will get the index of this array, it will get the size of this array, so it will get, so this way it will happen. So now I want to print sys out array I and j, right? So what will happen? First it will come inside this outer loop, right? So first it will come inside this outer loop, and just remove this ln from here just to understand, and give the space so that we can understand this way I can. And after this for loop, just give a, because this will print 0th index, all the values inside present in the 0th index, right? Now I will be giving a line break, so ln means line break. So here I have removed the ln, I want line break after one array completely printed, index or index 0, right? Now let's understand how the thing works. First it will come I value is equal to 0, it will check whether the value is correct or not. So just because I length of the array is 2, so the value present over here is 2, so I is 0, so it's correct, it will come inside. And when it will come side, same thing will happen for j is equal to 0 and length for the inner array is returns 3, so this condition is also satisfied. It will come over here array I and j, so 0 and 0 both values are 0, so first it will print 0 0 1, right? Now what will happen, it will going to plus plus of this j, so j value will be incremented, I value will be remain same, so j a I 0 and j 1, right? So I 0 and j 1 will be printed 2, right? Third time again j plus plus, j value will be 2, right? Array in return here 3, right? So value is 2 and return here 3, so that's why it will again print a 0 and 2, array 0 and 2, so this will print. Now third time the value will be 3, 3 is not less than 3, that's why it will going to this outer loop and plus plus of this in for value, so again this will print all these 3 values, right? So this way it will print all the values for it. First time it printed 1 2 3, and just because this loop was completed, then I given a line break, so there was a line break after here, right? So it printed 4 5 and 6, right? So this way we can use this 2-dimension array. Why I have gone through with 2-dimension array? In Selenium there is a concept data provider annotation, right? So when we will be working with the framework building, so we will need this 2-dimension array concept. In near future we don't need it, after 5 to 6 weeks we will need it to when we will be working with the TestNG and data provider annotation. That's why I have explained over here. Don't think that we will not need it, we will need it every time, anytime. There is another concept of 3D array, but I will drop it to you, that please you guys can explore. If you will be facing any problem, just explore the concept, just the way I have explained the 2D array, the 1D 3D array is same here. For 3D array another will be present, and what can be happen, just another array inside an array, right? So if I can explain with the diagram, so you can explore the program for it, because there is no such ending of the dimensions, that's why I am stopping from the here only in the 2D array. That's why maximum we will need inside the that Selenium code. So suppose I declare like this int 3D array, right? ARR is equal to new int, suppose 2 3 4, like this. So first what will happen, array of index 2 will be there, index will be 0 and 1. Now what will happen, there will be 3 array inside indexes array inside it, right? 0 1 and 2, and over here also 3 indexes array, 0 1 and 2, right? Now inside this 3 index array there will be array of 4 indexes, for like this 0 1 2 3, for it also 0 1 2 3, for this also 0 1 2 3, 0 1 2 3, like same, right? So how can we access this? How can we access this? Suppose, just for giving an example, ARR 0 0 0, right? First time for this 0 0 and 0, right? So suppose 1 A how can I get this index? If anyone can tell me how can I get this index? Just
Array of one
array of 1
and
1
getting that much only here.
yeah. Now if I want to get this index,
Okay, that is array of one of two of one.
1 of 2,
Because you
no,
are
no,
connected from two, right?
I want to get this index, right? Connected from to where? Yeah, I want to get this array inside one array 2, right?
Two, then
And
one.
yeah, 2 and 1. Okay, now that's correct. So if anybody else, how can I get this one? Excepting Bhaskar, anybody else want to tell? Like Lakshmi or something?
It's 0, 0, 2 and 3.
0,
2,
2,
3.
yeah. So it means that if you are able to understand this internal process, you guys can work with the array. So there may be another charges for the array, but there is no such use, so I am skipping that part. So you guys can explore in this way. I hope you got it, the array concept. But
In real time, do we use this three-dimensional method?
yeah, we use that. I have used, but they're very rarely used. But because we don't such as work with the array, we normally work with the array list, right? So they, but when we have any performance like issues, because array list has some, suppose I have to increment I have to add another index, right? In that case what happens, array list first delete that index, then it again creates, so there may be performance issues. So in that case we use this 3-dimension array, right? So but normally generally we work with 2-dimension array, and that is sufficient. But we should have an idea how to work with them, we should have any practice for that, right? So that we should not stuck any place. If you have conceptual knowledge, then we can go further, right? Proceed, we can proceed now.
The reason why I'm asking is when you are explaining about the two-dimensional array,
Yeah.
I assumed it might be like a matrix. But when you are explaining about the three-dimensional, I was kind of a bit slow in assuming how the
No, there is no such concept of, yeah, there is no such concept of, yeah, there is no such concept of rows and column like we generally have in C or C++, right? So we understand it in that way, but things actually not works like that, right? So I will take a 2 minutes break over here. So I'll be coming back. Until then, if you guys have any questions, you can ask them. I will have 2 minutes break, right? 1 or 2 minute break. Okay, I'm back. So anybody has any questions related to it? Okay, so just I will see a program, right? So I will showing you that program using, suppose sum of array, so concept will be more clear now. So you guys will be having some assignments related to it, and complete those assignments so that you can concept more clear. So why this error is coming, I don't know. Okay, sum of values, right? we'll just define the array of size in suppose 3, right, and define some values over here, and a is sorry sum I is equal to 0, sum, here I have to give the index 0, right, sum 1 is equal to 1, suppose 2, sum 2 is equal to 3. Now what I will do, I will run this loop 3 times, and I is equal to 0, I less than 3, I plus plus, and just what I have to do here, I have to take a sum variable int sum of values is equal to 0. Initially assign this value is 0. Now just do one thing, sum of values is equal to first time array index 0, sum I plus sum of values. So what will happen, first time it will come, because related to this program we will have 5 to 7 programs in our assignment, so just understand the concept first. We can make it sum less than array name dot length as well, so don't be confused over it, right. So what will happen, array index will be starting from 0, right, sum of values, right, initially it will be 0, next time sum 0, array index sum 0, right, so it will be 0, right, 0 plus initially sum of 0 is 0, next time array index will be 1, right, so sum 1 value is 2, so 2 plus 0 is equal to 2 over here, so here sum of values will be updated to 2, next time array index will be 2, right, so index will be 2 and it will check inside this 3, now it will come here 3 plus 2, because this was updated last time, right, 3 plus 2 5, and this will store 5 again. So now I will print. Now if you want to check it how it's happening, you can give inside. So first time it will print 2, and first time it will 0, then it will print 2, and then it will print 5, right. So I will print this system dot out dot print will run 3 times. As per our need we can write 0, 2 and 5. If you just want only this sum, so just print this outside this loop, right. So now I will run it over here. So 5 will be printed, last value will be printed. If I will print, I want to know with anyone if want to tell what this will print. Just but before that I will declare this I outside of it, int I will tell you why I have did this, why this was giving error, but just I want to know that why what this I will be returning, what the value of I will be printed. Last time I have told.
4.
Who is this?
Hridesh.
Hridesh, okay. So anybody else? In this why 4?
because the loop is running 3 times and then again it will come. So I plus plus value it will be 4 like this.
First time I value will be 0, right? So it will be coming inside it, right? So first time when I value will be 0, it will be coming inside. Second time I will value, what this will return, first we need to understand, this will return 3, right? So this will return 3. There is a shortcut to give answer, this will return 3, right? So I should be less than 3, right? If I is less than 3, then your reply should be 3. If this was like equals to, then your reply should be 3 plus 1. Why?
Got it.
Yeah, so answer will be 3, just because when it will be the when the condition will be fail, then I value will be 3, right? So index are 0 1 2, right? So length is 3, right? So 3 is less than 3 is not possible, right? That's why when the condition was false, then value was 3, so it will come outside and it will print 3, right? First it printed the sum of values, then it printed the index. So then we need to understand what the things are going on. Suppose if I say that break when the sum is 2, right? So this need to apply, there is no such thing to explain over here, but you need to understand if there is a scenario that you have to write, then what logic you can define here. Then if sum of values is equal to 2, then break. Now I want to, if anybody want to reply, if I will print now this time, if I will print I, what will be the output? When sum will do, yeah,
1.
1.
Yeah.
So it means you guys got the thing, and now I'll be moving to string array, and you guys will explore it more. And just reach out to Sumit for array assignments, right? There are many assignments available for the other batches, and you can access those. Just ping this Sumit or the group. I will post him to do that. Okay. Now I'll be moving to string array. How to define a string value? First let just understand, guys. Yes. Suppose I have a string name is, suppose I have to define a name of person, so name is equal to Vandan, right? So this way we can define the string, right? Suppose string name 2 is equal to string, right? Now same thing for string array also. Suppose we have a class student, right? Same way to understand, and we have 100 student name, and we have to store names for 100 students. So do I write this 100 times, name 3, name 4, name 5, name 6? So this will first take us lot of time to do it, and this will slow down the execution of the program, this will slow down the performance of the system. So in that case we have to use the array for string also. So how to define? Same process. This s will be capital because string is a class. String, right? Name is equal to new string. Suppose I have to declare 3 names, right? Now this time suppose I have another array, suppose string, but before explaining array I will explain one more thing. Name 2 is equal to, this will be the name, not a person's name, this will be class name, right? Maybe class, so what the class we have, so Selenium or Java, whatever. String 3. What if I match like this, these two, name is equal to class. What will the output over here, and what will be the output for these two strings if I will have same of this, right? So there is interview questions related to it, but before that first understand the concept so that I can make it clear for you guys. So here name is equal to Vandan, here also name is equal to Vandan. Suppose I store name is equal to Vandan, 3 Vandan either here and 3 also over here. So still it not going to reply true, right? So but in this case, why this will be true in this case? Because here if name is equal to name 2, in case of this it will be true, in case of this will be false. Why? Because what is here, what new keyword does, last time I have not told it, but yeah, what new keyword, when you declare like this, right, new, so what it will assign reference to, right? So there will be 3 addresses, first string array will be created 0 1 2, and there will be addresses for it, right? Addresses for this array, right? Addresses for this array. So this array have some address, and inside that there are 3 elements available, right? Similarly for this array also there will be new array created, and here 3 indexes will be applicable for that address, right? So first what it will do, it will compare the addresses. That's why it will returning false, because addresses can't be same anytime, right? But here what is comparing it, here it's comparing content, right? And content is same, right? Content is same, content is Vandan, right? There is no such keyword which will comparing the addresses. So new keyword not used here, new keyword will assign the reference. That's why we call it reference variable, right? When we are going to define any class object, right? Suppose I have class A available, so a obj is equal to new obj, new a, sorry. So what we call it, either we call it object or reference variable for class A, right? So in this way we can understand what the things happens. Here it's comparing the content, and so how can we compare the content when there is a new keyword? Just use dot equals, it will override that and it will compare the content, right? So there is a method for dot equals method which will compare the content for this newly assigned to string arrays, right? I hope this was clear to all. Anybody has any problem, please ask me. Okay. So class string first I will declare 2 strings. I have resumed the recording, right? Okay. String name first I will declare string name. Name is equal to 1 then. String, why it's okay, not name 2 is equal to 1. Now I will compare these values. If name is equal to name 2, right? So sys out same name, else sys out name is nodes. Whatever. Okay, I will run it and show you, right? Just because the name or what if I make it capital? So this time it will compare the lower and upper cases also. This time it will returning as false, right? Name or not same, right? So this way. But what if I want to ignore this comparison using the case, right? Lower or upper case. So just make it name. There is a method. If you will use that equals method, it will again return you false, right? Oh, sorry. It will again return you false just because it will again compare the lower and upper cases. So how can we ignore this thing? Just use this method equals ignore case, and okay, so here you have to give this, right? Now this time it will return name are same, right? Same name. Okay, now this time if I want to get the length of this string, anyone, so just print out sys out name dot length, same thing. But here in string case, this length you can see that this is the method, right? But when you are comparing with the array of integer array, so in that case this was not the method. So people get confused. If the interviewer asks what is the length, then people normally answer its method, but it's not common answer, right? So we should have any common answer. So we should have explained first. When we are going with integer array, then the case is different. But when we are going to string part, then the case is different. For string, there is a length method, and control over here, just click open declaration. So you will directly redirect to here, right? So this is the method, right? Public int length, right? And it will return the value length, and whatever it is declared by these Java developers who made the Java, so just leave to them. But in that case the thing was not right. So when anybody asks what is the length method, what is the length is a method or keyword, whatever, so you should have two answers for him, with when you are using for integer and when we are using for string. So this way. Okay, second thing, similarly let me comment it. I hope you guys got it, and I will comment this code. These small things makes problem, that's why I am explaining a beginning, but I will not be expecting to anyone asking the same things within time of the Selenium, just because our focus will be Selenium and will be distracted to that part. That's why I am covering here. So now why this not equal to, sorry, string name name is equal to new string, and here one line, right? String name, oh, 2 is equal to new string one line. right? Now if I try to match this, if name is equal to name2, it will not give us error, right? Now I'll print if it will come inside, so it should print both are equal. Else sys out both are not equal, right? Now I'll run it. What should be the output? Output should be both are not equal, just because this new keyword has assigned some address to this, right? And this new keyword has assigned to some address to this one, right? So addresses will be compared, right? So this will compare the addresses, and addresses will be never same. That's why it will not come inside this if part. It will directly jump to this else part, and it will print both are not equal, right? So how can I compare the data present inside this string? Just do this, right? We'll comment this, right? String name. Oh, if name dot equals name 2, so now this will compare the content, and both content are same, right? So this will print same. Otherwise, if both are not same, so it will print sys out not same, right? So this time it will print the same, right? So suppose if I make it small, so what?
In line number 20, you have to print name 2 instead of name 1.
Okay,
Name
so
dot
okay, sorry, the typo mistake. Sorry, thanks for confirming. Now I will, what should be the output now? Just make it first. This is same, right? Both cases are also same, name is also same. Now this time I will run it, right? So just because these are same, so it has printed same. Okay, so suppose I make it small, right? Now I will make it small, and what should it print? Now I will check with anyone if I want to answer. What should be the output now?
Yeah, these are not same.
Not same.
Okay, just because there is a case mapping, right? Right, it was mapping the case. So here we can use the equals ignore case method, right? Now I'll run it,
Same.
and it will be same. So let me make another class, and I will define the string array. Maybe I have made ex, right? Now I will close all of this. Now I'll define the string student name equal to new string, and here I have defined suppose 3. Right? Oh, where is point? Okay, so now this time what I will do, suppose size of 3, so student, I'll copy this here, 0 equal to 1, then 1 is equal to 1, then oh Sumit, and 2 is equal to suppose Okay, so what I will do, I will print this using the for loop. For int I is equal to 0, I is less than student name dot length, and here I plus plus. We are using with this integer values, right? So don't be confused, we are working with strings just because we are using with the integer values, right? This is out here I have to print student dot length. Oh, what is sorry, I, right? So first time it will print y, it's yeah, it's printed Vandan, Sumit and Neha. So this way we can use the string array, right? So if I ask you guys to make a program to reverse a string, so what, how can you do it? There I will comment it first and just give you a hint for that, so that you can clear it. This was a string array, and same way guys you can work with the multi-dimensional string array, right? So I have explained for integer array, you guys explore and you will get some assignments to it. There is nothing difference with the dimensions if you are working with the dimensions of array. So there is nothing difference in concept, but if you are comparing the content, then we have to take care of those things, right? So when we are having the integer values, then just both values will be compared by double equals to operator. So here what difference between double equals to and dot equals to, this is a famous interview Java questions, right? You guys are more experienced than me, you must know that this is the very common interview questions, right? So what is the difference between double equals to and this dot equals method? This the method, this compare the content, right? And this one compare the reference, right? What, but when it will compare the reference, if the reference will be applicable, right? Suppose if new keyword is not used, we have defined string name is equal to Vandan, so there is a content, not reference is assigned. But if we are declaring like this, string name is equal to new string and inside that parenthesis Vandan, so name is assigned by the reference. So that time this equals to operator will be comparing the references, right? Whatever the value will be applicable, either the reference or value, it will compare that, but this will always compare the content, right? So this is the basic difference between these two. So use this and it will help you if you are working with Selenium. So one more thing, when
Vandan, sorry.
Yeah.
Can you please explain that equal dot equals? So because of your voice is very low, sometimes very difficult to understand for me.
Okay, so is this problem with everybody?
Yeah, sometimes it is fading on the
Okay.
Yeah, now when Lakshmi is talking, it's very clear for me.
Okay, I can understand. Okay, now just because I using earphone and that the part of that microphone is sometimes let me explain it again. Suppose I defined like this string. Now I'm clear, Bhaskar? Bhaskar, am I audible?
It's better.
Okay, thank you. Now this time I am using string name is equal to Vandan.
No, all this I understand. Only the last, yeah, now you are writing comparing the two strings,
This
equal or not equal, all those I understand.
okay.
Only last you explain in the program, only that I didn't understand.
These differences between this and this, right?
Yeah.
That this is I am trying to explain, right? First let me write. Suppose here I have string name 2 is equal to Vandan, again Vandan, right? And here I have defined string name, this don't compare it, suppose name 3 is equal to new string here Vandan and string name 4 new string Vandan. So what will happen when I am going to use new keywords, right? So this new keyword assign some reference to it. There will be object creation and some references will be for this object. Suppose references is a b c 1 2 3 like this random addresses, right? And here 1 2 3, suppose there is another address. Suppose here inside it will store Vandan and inside it will again store Vandan, right? So what will happen, it will compare the if I am using here for this last two, if I am using name 3 is equal to name 4, so what will happen, references of this object will be compared. So this reference and this reference will be compared. References will be never same, just because I am comparing with the references. This new keyword has assigned reference to this, right? And inside this reference this value is stored. So if I want to compare the content inside it, so I have to use dot equals to, right? Dot equals to method, right? But here what I have assigned, I have directly assigned value to it, directly assigned. So this time if I will compare, if name is equal to name 2, so just because this name variable is assigned by the values, that you will compare the values, right? So this will compare whatever you assign, either you assign the reference or the values, right? But this will always compare the content, right? So this will be your exact answer. So this is the difference. So this was the agenda for today. If you guys have any query, you can ask me. Otherwise you will have some assignments to complete by tomorrow. I think it's enough for today. If I'll be going too much, so it's not making any sense for doing that, right? So I'll stop recording first. Length of the video